Hey everyone, I want to welcome you to the next Math for the Impatient. We're here with Stan Kladko, CTO and co-founder of SKALE, and today we're talking about multi-chain wallets. So the big question, what are multi-chain wallets and why are they important for SKALE users?
Yeah, it's a really interesting question, Marcus, and I'll start by telling a little bit about regular wallets. Wallet is a key thing in blockchain, right? Wallet is where you store your money. And people know how to use wallets. There is MetaMask for Ethereum. There are other wallets. They work pretty reasonably well. But once you go into the multi-chain world, there are problems because suddenly you don't just have a single chain. You have many chains. And your wallet typically just shows you the money stored on a single chain. But what if in the future there will be a million chains? How can a wallet represent this? So we're seeing this interesting phenomena now in the blockchain world where wallets don't work anymore because people store money on many chains. And I'll give you a very simple example. Let's say you have a bank account and you have $1,000 in your bank account. You go, you log into your bank, it shows you the $1,000. The fact is, this information is not exactly correct. There's not a single place where your $1,000 is stored because the bank may actually put some investment into bonds, some into stocks, may loan money to some other banks, may give people mortgages. So what you see as $1,000 stored in a single place does not actually exist. It's an abstract representation by the bank of the reality. And the reality is much more complex, but the bank takes this complexity and makes it simpler for you because the only thing you care about is the total, and you don't really care where your money is stored and how it brings profit. In fact, you pay the bank for removing the complexity. The bank makes complex things simple for you, and that's how banks make money, right? Very much the same problem on blockchain that we are now facing, that you have your money, it may be on different blockchains, and someone needs to take this complexity and makes it simple. And that's where the idea of the multi-chain wallet UI comes to, that we need a new generation of wallets that will hide the complexity, will hide all of these details that your money is stored on different chains, and actually will present you a simpler UI that will actually make your life simpler in this complex blockchain world.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it's like anything, right? In order to have kind of real mass consumer adoption, you need to create a simplicity that allows your grandmother to go in and perform a transaction without thinking about it in the same way she would walk to a bank and take money out of her checking account. So I think that brings us to the next question, which is how will multi-chain wallets work?
Yeah, that's a great question. And we literally are in the middle of discussing this question. We're trying to have some solution ourselves. We're working with our partners, Ruby Exchange. They are partners. They have great UI people. We just had a discussion this morning on how this multi-chain wallet UI should look like. It's a very interesting thing. And there are two super important fundamental principles for this new generation of wallets. One is that people care about total. Your money is on one chain, another chain, and it's USDC, or USDT, or some other stable coin. What you care about is what's the total. And when you transfer the money to me, that's the same. I don't really care on which chain you transfer the money to me as soon as I get the money. So the UI need to provide this next level of abstraction, just show you the total and hide the complexity. So there has to be a level when you send me the money, it will just pull the money from one of your chains and send it on one of the chains to me. I don't really care at a higher level of abstraction which chain is going to happen on. So there has to be this simpler level where the chains are hidden and the only thing which is displayed is the total. That's number one. And if you want to have a detailed view, there has to be a way for you to click and see more of under the hood information on which chain it happened, but that's for the most users has to be hidden. And this is something that can let us bring many more users to the blockchain world, because many consumers, many simple people or not technology people cannot use blockchain because of all of this complexity. We have to have it as simple as your bank account, right? Your grandma or your grandpa, they do have a bank account. They should be able to use a blockchain, but for this, we need to go to this next level of simplicity. That's number one. And number two comes from all kinds of confirmations and warnings and clicks. When you use MetaMask or you do anything in the blockchain world, what people are used to is clicking through so many of pop-ups and buttons and this warning and that warning, and just becomes crazy. So to do a simple operation on a blockchain world, you have to have so many of these human clicks and confirmations. And the reason people had them in the first place is because of security, right? If you are sending someone $100,000 on Bitcoin network or on Ethereum network, you better read through all of the warnings and confirmations and click this one and that one, and only after multiple actions you actually have the transaction. But if you want to have a tiny transaction, if you want to send someone 10 cents, or if you want to play a game, a blockchain game, and you're not a powerful user, you might just like earn $1 like a month. You don't have to click through so many confirmations and checkboxes and all these kind of things. It makes you crazy. So in order for people to use blockchain in every day, we just have to somehow get rid of those confirmations and pop-ups and all kinds of things. So, and then the question is, how can we do this? So the wallet has to be intelligent. The wallet needs to understand what kind of operation is that, and if this operation is really important, yes, there have to be confirmations and pop-ups and everything, but if it's just a tiny action in a game, it just has to happen seamlessly without any human intervention. So we're thinking about next generation of wallets where you can have intelligence, starting from a simple things like, if it's less than $10, don't show the box. That's a simple thing. Going into much more complex thing where you have a neural network or machine learning model that knows what kind of a transaction is that. Essentially an AI that will actually do these confirmations for you and will reason for you and think for you. So and we know that now with all of the machine learning, all of the neural networks, we have this AI, which we can embed into the wallets. So the next generation of wallets will have to have two things. First of all, high complexity, especially the chains. No one cares about chains. People care about how much money they have. That's number one. And number two, intelligence, actually taking security actions for users, because one of the most important problems the users face in the blockchain world is too many things where security is actually pushed into humans, and humans have to have all of these very complex things. So these are something that we think the next generation of wallets are going to have. And we at Scale don't want to build the things. We're actually much better companies in our ecosystem or projects in our ecosystem build these wallets, and we'll just help them. So I think Ruby is going to be one of those where they're going to build a wallet like that. We may experiment with wallets like that. Some other projects in the Scale network need to experiment with these things. But having this new generation of wallets are the key to success to bring billions of people into the blockchain world.
Yeah, totally agree. Usability is going to be incredibly important. So what kinds of apps will multi-chain wallets enable? Like, what are the types of things that people will be able to do once they have them?
Yeah, several things. Two of them are super important. One is interactive games. When you play a game, when you run somewhere, shoot someone, you don't have time to click on confirmation boxes. It's just impossible to build an interactive game that people play where there will be all time high kinds of warnings and boxes and pop-ups. So you have to have an intelligent wallet if you want to have an interacting game, a fast game, where people actually can do things fast. So number one is dynamic games and real games with great experience. Number two is actually what Satoshi Nakamoto envisioned many years ago, not so many 10 years ago, right? You need to be able, any person on this surface of this planet, to send any amount of money to any person or any device or anything on this planet anytime for free, right? This is like the holy grail, no fees, any amount, microtransactions. In order for us to have this type of functionality for every person and device in this universe, we have to have many chains. So by definition, we have to have a multi-chain wallet that will hide totally from the user on which chain the money is stored, because it's irrelevant. When you send me money, I don't care on which particular, if 1 million chains, why should I care on which chain the money is stored? I will just receive it on this chain, right? So this next level of abstraction with this multi-chain wallet that potentially can connect to 1,000 chains or 1 million chains. I think 1,000 gonna be, I think probably 1,000 chains is gonna be enough for the entire world to satisfy Satoshi Nakamoto's dream. 1,000 scale chains can totally solve the problem for the mankind, right? But we need to have a wallet that won't actually show to people, to users, this 1,000 chains, because they don't care. The wallet just needs to show the users how much money they have. And if the user sends money to anyone else, the wallet will just pull from a particular chain and send on this chain. So these two applications, games and transactions and just sending money, these are super important for us. We're super exciting. We hope that these wallets will not be designed by us. We will research, but there will be partners, Scale ecosystem project designing these wallets. If someone is interested in designing a wallet like that, please let us know. It's a great project. It's really something, a key element. An intelligent multi-chain wallet is the key element of the future for blockchain. And we are really excited at Scale to envision this future. We'll definitely make it true, either ourselves or preferably partners that work with us or applications in Scale ecosystem.
So yeah, so it's great. So a true multi-chain wallet opens up a universe of blockchains and hopefully a universe of scale chains. Anyway, if you look down below, please click on the like button, make sure that you subscribe. We have our Twitter channel, we have our Telegram announcements. Thank you, Stan. It was great chatting and look forward to it.
Marcus.
Bye.
Bye.